It is time now for Quick Snaps with Kostaki Economopoulos, who, by the way, is going to shove it down our throats that the goddamn Falcons are 5-0.
Good read.
We're almost as good as you.
Good read.
5-0, baby.
5-0, and you killed. What did you almost kill Robert Griffin III?
Apparently so. Yes.
Jesus.
There's only 3 perfect teams in the NFL right now: the Falcons, the Texans, and the Browns.
The Browns.
The Browns are 0-5.
There you go.
There we
Perfectly awful.
What can Brown do for you? Not much.
Not much at all.
A Harris poll, this is exciting to me, shows that the NFL popularity is at an all-time high. 59% of the population says they now follow pro football. The other 41% follow the Browns.
Well,
these are the jokes.
Oh, that's what it was.
I was laughing.
Pro football isn't just America's favorite sport. This article goes on to say it may be America's most popular cultural institution of any kind. I guess they don't count porn as culture.
I guess not.
So the Chiefs are a mess. They already have 19 turnovers, and that's not counting North America. See, they turned over the continent.
I got it.
Former Chief Larry Johnson was arrested for allegedly choking his ex-girlfriend. I heard of Chiefs choking, but that's ridiculous. And a Kansas City fan hired a plane to fly over the stadium with a derogatory banner. The Chiefs couldn't win that game with David Banner.
That's not the right one.
That's the rapper.
I thought his name was Bruce Banner. Was it David Banner?
Well, maybe I'm wrong.
Bruce Banner? Are you talking about the Hulk?
Yeah, Bruce Banner, not David. Kostaki.
Hey, called out.
I got to Google my joke.
That's right, it was Bruce Banner.
He picks the rapper. What the hell are you doing, Kostaki?
I'm not the one who was wrong.
That's hilarious.
Hey, Andy.
I apologize to the youth of America.
Yes, and the elderly,
I
too.
screwed it up. So, yeah, but speaking of screwing things up, there's concussions all over the NFL. It's crazy. And I saw the high-profile I saw the list, basically, of the symptoms. Headaches, amnesia, confusion, irritability. I thought, maybe my ex has a concussion. Maybe that's what's happening.
I happen to know your ex, pal.
Fair dig.
Fair
Okay.
Poor Matt Castle, the Chief, got a concussion, and some of the fans booed him. The fans found a way to look worse than the team. That's a high bar, you know.
That is tough.
RG3 had a mild concussion, too, which is like being a little bit pregnant. His brain only shook against his skull a little. Is that what they're saying? He reportedly didn't know the score or what quarter it was after the hit. And then asked him who the president is, and he said Romney. So after that first debate, he could be right here pretty soon.
Yeah, possibly.
What else we got? Drew Brees broke Johnny Unitas' 50-year-old record for dumbest haircut.
That was not a good haircut.
Either one of them.
Neither one. Neither.
He broke the record by throwing a touchdown pass in 48 consecutive games. I have a similar thing going, 48 consecutive shows during which at some point I mention my penis. It's quite a run I've got going.
And we're tired of it, by the way.
I wouldn't say run and penis in the same sentence, by the way.
What else? Lions and Raiders both sitting at 0 interceptions on the year. Troy Polamalu has more picks than that in his hair.
You know, I do love it, by the way, Kostaki, when you go, what else?
It's the sign of a pro doing work.
The Tom Barnard Podcast is like the guinea pig of quick snaps because...
No, I'm just a little off because I've been traveling all morning. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'll put it next week.
Let me put it this way. On Bob and Tom, you won't be saying David Banner.
That's a good point.
Say hello to him for me.
I will fix the problem. That's a good point. Michael Vick had 4 fumbles. He has less of a grip on the ball than he does on social norms.
That's good.
I like that one.
Yeah, you. The performance is terrible. I can own up to that. Michael Vick's wife posted bikini pics of herself on Instagram. She's like the Vikings, an impressive front.
See, kind of ass-kissy in a way.
Yeah, a little bit. I got some Viking stuff here. Adrian Peterson says his knee is better this year than last. That's the same thing Brett Favre used to say to female reporters, but about a different body part.
Oh, dear.
I
You
enjoyed
saw
it.
this Viking safety Harrison Smith was ejected for lightly shoving an official.
Yep, we saw
The NFL has a tougher no-touch policy than strip clubs. You can't even touch them? Can you yell at them? I don't understand the rule on that. Are you supposed to sit down with them and listen to how they're saving money for college? What's the rule?
Possibly. Medical school.
It's an emotional relationship.
No doubt.
The Rams are over 500 for the first time in 93 games.
Oh,
Wow.
These guys spent more time under 500 than Ralphie May's wife.
Ralphie May reference.
He goes with Ralphie May.
Did you get that one?
Andy, Alex, did you get that one?
No.
Specific.
Ralphie May is a comedian who weighs about 500 pounds.
Do you mean Edward May?
No, I mean
I'm just
Ralphie.
kidding.
No, David May.
He does a podcast called Perfect 10 because his wife is very skinny.
Peyton Manning's going to be a minority owner of the Memphis Grizzlies.
Who is?
Peyton Manning.
Is that right?
How about that? He and his wife are investing in the Grizzlies.
Why?
Sorry, as a Southerner, I just get uncomfortable when I hear owning and minority.
Well, the NBA loses money every year. Why would you do that?
That's a good question.
better seats.
Maybe they're buying low? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Good question. I guess if you're in the basketball business and you're white, you're a minority by the very nature of the process.
True.
Unless you're in Minnesota.
It's true.
The Niners amassed 621 yards in the rout of the Bills. The Bills haven't been embarrassed like this since, last week.
Oh, God.
Not been that long.
Poor team.
They're awful.
They
Alex
really
Smith
are.
sprained his middle finger in the game, but it's not too bad. He should be able to still drive in California. And Randy Moss, not much of a factor for the 49ers. He's now the fourth or fifth receiving option. Big closer, everybody. He gets fewer balls thrown his way than Ellen DeGeneres.
Good closer.
Oh, a little theme music and everything.
I like it. The Bazooki.
Yeah. Oh, he goes with the actual.
Opa.
Oh, Alex goes with Opa.
That was Monica.
It wasn't me.
But whatever.
I don't know who it
I
was.
don't know whoever that was. Kostaki, phenomenal. We'll speak next week.
Good job.
I wonder if Ellen ever has any balls thrown or has had in the past.
I'm sure.
In her lesbian
Everybody's
dodgeball
been
league.
drunk enough at least
I'll
once.
try to pick it up with the performance. I'll try to get some sleep for next week.
Alex said only in the lesbian softball league.
Nice.
We'll talk to you next week, Kostaki.
Tag.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys.
Kostaki Economopoulos and Quick Snaps. Buy online by going to the Amazon.com banner at TomBarnardPodcast.com. They won't charge you a penny more. A small portion of what they sell through our site helps support the show, and it's what keeps the show free for our listeners. Click and shop today on the Amazon banner at TomBarnardPodcast.com. Why does Andy keep getting up and leaving during the podcast?
Because he's fed up with your shit.
Okay, there's Shake Catherine.
What?
She's got these
She's
rags
forgotten
hanging
now.
from her
It
head.
is 73 degrees in the studio. You're beating up like crazy.
It's because I'm
It's
under
hotter than
stress.
shit, and my
Under stress.
my
I'm under a lot of
headphones
stress.
were making me sweat. I didn't like it.
Yesterday at the Minnesota Vikings football game,
We attended.
Alex
Yay.
and Catherine were recognized by podcast listeners.
No
We
big
were.
deal.
Nice.
I don't know how. Nobody can see us.
Yeah, they see your picture on the website. A lot of people go to TomBarnardPodcast.com. One thing I want to talk about is
Go there
last
every
week.
What was his name? We should say hi to him.
Ben. Hi, Ben.
Thanks for listening.
Ben's a very good
Love
guy.
you.
I mentioned this on the air this morning, KQRS, during the morning show. There was a woman in front of me, and she turned around very sweetly, and said, I'm so sorry, but the people in front of us stand up. I don't mean to stand up and block your view. I'm sorry about that. I said, actually, I can see right over the top of your head. She was 4'10". It was the greatest. You can stand up all you want. I don't care.
Only in the Midwest would they apologize for that, too.
We love her.
Maybe only in Minnesota.
Yeah.
They stand
so
up and apologize.
cute.
She was such a sweet woman. Talking about, well, we have the contest coming up on Thursday. Correct?
Yeah, Thursday's the day, so you still
I'm
have time
nervous.
to enter on the website, TomBarnardPodcast.com.
How many
How's that
entries
going?
now?
It was over 15,000 last night.
15,000. The average radio contest gets how many entries?
A few thousand. But
And this has
is-
over 15,000.
What's really cool about this is it's not just an email entry. People are going in and they've been great about sharing the podcast via Twitter, Facebook, Google Plus, and several other vehicles.
Good job, people.
Internet.
A lot of, I've noticed I picked up a couple of thousand Facebook fan page likes, but I've almost doubled my Twitter page. I'm up to 100 now.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's so sad? Just very quickly, this is sad,
Oh,
actually.
no, I'm nervous.
So I'm going through my Twitter page, and there's a woman on there takes a shot at me. I said, and we're going to talk about this debate we have coming up a week from Friday. So I go to my Twitter page, and this woman on there takes a shot at me. I had said during the debate that I'll be very respectful. I said, actually, what I had said was, if anybody knows Matt Burke, please, I'm imploring him to come on and debate Chris Cluey a week from Friday on a podcast and a webcast.
Word of the day.
Imploring. I went with imploring. But anyway, I said, I'll be very respectful. And she puts on there, yeah, like you'd ever be respectful, barnyard. So I go to her Twitter page to block her. I was her only follower.
She just started.
You wonder why.
The only follower, and now she's got 0 because she had to be an asshole to me the first tweet she puts out.
She only has 1 star on Match.com, too. But,
Hey, when you're... Do you follow everybody who follows you?
I do. Very,
You
very
do?
few people do that, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
She has 1 follower, and now she has no followers.
Ha
Because she was a pain in the ass.
biatch. Now
In
you're
any case, so on Thursday, will we be announcing on the podcast on Thursday who the winner is?
yeah, what I'd like to do is reach out to the person Thursday morning, and then we can hopefully get their information and confirm it, and then call them on the podcast to tell them that they've won.
We're going to be here all day Thursday.
I know we are.
Thursday, our Thursday's lineup
Not me.
is going to be we're going to call a podcast winner on the show. Frank Caliendo's coming in to do 45 minutes to an hour. Ali Wong's coming in to do 45 minutes to an hour. Very, very funny woman. And Shane Moss is going to come in to do. We have like
And I'll be
3
there.
hours.
Well, Shane and Frank are at the same time, so...
They can't be at the same time.
Well, they are.
Uh-oh, controversy.
Well, they can't.
Well, no, we have to talk to...
So here's what we'll do. We'll have Frank call the winner, and he'll be George Bush when he calls the winner.
Have you ever heard him do Morgan Freeman?
Yeah, everybody he does is fantastic.
Yeah, he
he's-
really
he's-
does.
I heard him do it for the first time last Thursday. I've known Frank for 20 years. As a matter of fact, we tell stories about how good he has been to the show over the years on it. But so Frank, Ali Wong, and Shane Moss will all be in. The winner of the contest. Let's talk about last week's guest first and how things have developed. Who was on Monday?
Jeff Cesario?
Yeah, there you go. Jeff Cesario.
Sorry, how could we forget
We
Cesario?
kicked off a great week last week, and our audience almost doubled in size last week. So we kicked off the week with Jeff Cesario, who was very, very funny. And if he doesn't get the Dick Rossi show picked up, then Hollywood has no idea what the hell they're doing. As a matter of fact, for all podcast listeners, if you just go to, I think his Twitter page is at Jeff Cesario. No,
The
somebody
real
has
Jeff
it.
Cesario.
The real
Real.
Jeff
Yeah.
Cesario.
Yeah.
Is it the real or just at
real?
At real Jeff Cesario.
Yes.
If you would go to his Twitter page and show some support for him, because we watched it on Fun. You can go to Funny or Die,
No.
the Dick Rossi Show. Watch it and tweet Jeff showing him some support, because he can then take that and show NBC and CBS and Fox and ABC and Showtime and all HBO and everybody. Look, this thing isn't even on the air yet, and it's got all the support, because it would be a phenomenal weekly show to watch. No question about that. So Jeff Cesario was on Monday, did a hell of a job. Last Tuesday, Chris Cluey came on. What a hell of a nice man he is.
He's so
He
nice.
is really nice.
That show exploded with Chris Cluey. And then at the end of the Chris Cluey show, Vince Flynn showed up, and they did about 10, 15 minutes
Showed up,
together.
he wandered in.
He kind of
Hey,
just wandered
guys.
in.
Saw the
Why am
lights
I getting
on.
my foot licked?
Then Chris Cluey came on Vince's show, which was the next show for the next day, for about 5-10 minutes, and he had to take his family to the airport. I got so many tweets, and the same about Cesario and Chris Cluey as well. I got so many tweets saying, have these guys on, like, could you have them on once a week? I said, probably not. Probably not once a week. As we move along, people really want us to video record this show. Yeah.
Ugh.
Twitter
Just kidding.
followers.
I mean,
Then I
at
can't-
least 2.
No, a lot of
Then
them.
I can't put tissues in
Emails, all that stuff. So
I
eventually
don't
we'll
have
get
to
around
brush
to
my
eventually.
hair.
But then Justin McKinney came in. Steve Byrne
Steve
came
Byrne,
in. Just phenomenal, both of them.
You forgot Bill Corbin.
Oh, that's right. Bill Corbin was on last week. Which show was
We
he?
had a lot of people.
was on
we
with-
did.
Oh, it wasn't on Friday because
Was Joe Coy.
Joe Coy was on
Joe
Friday.
Coy.
Joe Coy was incredible.
magic.
Did you say his
Thursday.
name
It had to
really
be Thursday.
strangely?
I had that meeting
Like it's
Thursday,
one word.
Joe
Okay.
I don't
Coy.
What a guy he turned out to be. I had
Oh,
never
my
met
God.
Joe Coy
Yeah,
He
before.
was
she's
so
so
funny.
sweet.
Incredibly sweet
What a
guy,
great
incredibly
guy.
funny. Spent $63,000 at the dentist getting his teeth fixed.
I'm so sad I
68.
didn't get to go to his thing.
It's really funny. After the show on Friday, Joe Coy says, "Oh my God, we're going to miss our next interview." And I said, "No, you're not. What are you talking about?" He said, "Because we went for like an hour and a half or something." So here's what's weird. So they are going to miss it. We can't call them a taxi. So I drove them over to FM 107, which is,
My talk. Yeah.
it was where Tony works, actually, in that building.
Why didn't you come in and say hi?
Because Ginny Hubbard showed up, and then she hauled me up into her office and said, "Here, have some candy." And I'm like, "Okay." So I was only there for about 10 minutes.
Should have popped
Or
I should have.
3 hours.
But that was rather interesting. So I show up in the lobby, and the president of the radio division over there at Hubbard Broadcast said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just chauffeuring these guys around."
What I do when I'm
Side
off
work.
the air.
You know what's really weird about that? Everyone, including Magic John, Joe Coy, Lauren, everybody, and at Hubbard, they thought, "Well, God, how nice of you to do that." I said, "No, why? It was my fault they were going to be late, and they did get there on time, by the way." I said, "It was my fault they were going to be late." What kind of prick wouldn't say, well, you can't do the next one, tough, or you have to do the next one on the phone, too bad.
Here's the door.
If anybody did that to me, I'd be really pissed off about it. I talked to an old friend for 10 minutes. I took him to their hotel, and I came home. On to this week, we're going to talk about stress because, Catherine is so stressful to live with that she figured, no, that's not it.
That could be it. I could get more stressful.
This week's guests are going to be pretty amazing. This guy's, Wayne Dyer's been hot for, about 30 years?
Oh, a very long time.
How many books does he even have out?
Here's how amazing this guy
Andy,
is. If you've never heard...
Check that out, would you?
If you've never heard of Wayne Doctor, just Google Dr. Wayne Dyer. He's a brilliant, brilliant guy. He'll be on with his daughter, Tracy, and she has her own business that's doing very, very well. They'll be on Tuesday. Dr. Wayne Dyer, seriously, you're going to want to hear that show because he's a fascinating guy. I haven't met Tracy yet. But the thing about Wayne Dyer that shocked me was, and Sean told me this, that I last interviewed Wayne Dyer probably about 5 years ago. Sean said, "Tracy, would you call your father and see if he'd be on?" And so she said, "Well, we were wondering if you'd be on the Tom Barnard podcast." And he goes, "Oh, I know who Tom Barnard is." The guy remembered after all those years who I was. That's incredible.
I think after you get to a certain level, you better remember who helped you on your way up.
You think that?
I know. I have a foot in my lap. Get away
Alex
from
just
me.
put her
You're
foot
so
up in
gross.
Catherine's lap for some reason.
It's been there for like 5
That's how it got
Smells.
licked earlier.
Yep.
Tracy and Dr. Wayne Dyer on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we have an interesting guest. He's the head of Minnesota Unite, hashtag Minnesota Unite, or United. Richard Carlbaum.
We're
for
bang
families,
on
is
with
that
our facts
What's
today.
my name?
It's Monday. We shouldn't.
I think it's Minnesota Unite. It's about the marriage amendment about to go before the Minnesota. Well, they
vote.
want to put it in the
We're
to the
voting.
vote for to put it in the Constitution of the state of Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Richard will be on to talk about that. Frank Caliendo is going to be on. Ali Wong's going to be on. Shane Moss is going to be on. The winner of the $5,000. Also, don't forget that Smile Network gets $5,000. So what you did by entering the contest was a great thing, and so many of you participating. Over 15,000 people so far.
That's amazing.
And the contest doesn't end until Thursday. So a very, very busy week coming up, and we got about 1 minute before we're going to talk to Eric Papp. 2 minutes, actually.
We got to talk about the debate.
Oh, can we bring that up already?
Let's bring it up.
The location and everything?
I think we can bring up the location. We can do all that.
Is it going to happen?
A week from Friday at 4:30 at the
Central Time.
Brave New Workshop. Yeah, Central Time. Because it is going to be webcast and podcast live. Yeah.
Well, it'll be webcast live, which we can then sync up with our
Right.
site, and people can listen to it that way. And
Right.
You can obviously listen to the audio of it.
Right.
Can we get questions? Live questions?
Well, I think
people?
we can with the people in the studio, and I know we can take Skype calls, but why don't you say who we're wanting him to debate? If he comes on, then we can't, but otherwise we could take some Skype
Right,
calls
exactly.
potentially.
Chris Cluey, who's the punter for the Minnesota Vikings, you can Google his name and you'll find out very quickly why he is involved in a debate about gay marriage. Chris he's a very
outspoken.
Well, not only outspoken, but he's a strong supporter of gay marriage or the right for gays to marry. And Matt Burke, who was a former Viking, also I don't know him, never met him, but I heard he's a really, really nice guy. A Harvard graduate, so no dummy himself. Matt Burke, who now plays for the Baltimore Ravens, is the person we're trying to invite to do the debate. And with NFL schedules and all the rest of it, we don't know if that'll sync up or not. We're trying to get him. But we have a couple people in the wings that would be tremendous as well, that believe that gays should not be able to get married, that marriage is between a man and a woman. We'll be moderating that show.
All that nonsense.
Well, we have to be fair during the debate and give both people. As you know, I support gays' rights to get married. That's what I do. But as the moderator, I can't be going, "You're full of shit."
You can raise your fist.
Yeah, I'll raise my
after
fist.
points.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. Just shut that asshole's mic off, would you please? That'd go over really huge. But it's at the Brave New Workshop.
Yes.
Which is a wonderful, wonderful theater. And thank you so much to the people at Brave New Workshop, because it's...
downtown.
It'll be the one where TomBarnardPodcast.com will be on the marquee. So look for that one.
Yes, and
is this open to the public?
Well, what we're going to do is there's going to be a formal invite to several people that are involved with either side of the amendments, and there's some local politicians and media. But we are going to send out invitations. We're going to allow a certain amount of the podcast listeners to be there as well.
This will be a very civilized debate. I never watched like CNN, MSNBC, Fox. I don't watch those shows. I don't watch Meet the Press. I don't watch, George Stephanopoulos because of all the screaming over one. Yeah. I tried again yesterday. I tried again yesterday, and I can't watch it. It's just nah.
I know.
That's not debate. It's like you being a pain in the ass.
It's really tough.
Oh, it's very difficult.
Are you sniffing
So it will
markers?
not be that kind of debate.
I tried to, and it didn't.
Sorry.
What are you talking about marker stuff while we're on the pod? What's the matter with you?
She was sniffing.
Alex has lost her brain.
She's sniffing markers.
Why are you sniffing markers over there?
That explains a lot.
Hi, Eric.
It does.
How you doing, Eric?
Catherine.
Everything's wonderful. We have Catherine here, Alex, our daughter, Andy, our son, and Sean, our nephew, and Tony Lee.
Hello.
Everybody at Tom Barnard Podcast is here today. Everybody's in attendance to talk to Eric Papp
Oh, wow.
about how stress can affect your health, and I'm a living, breathing example of that, I will tell you.
Yeah, we need a lot of advice,
Yes,
Eric.
Eric, we need a lot.
A lot.
Tons of advice from you. I'll tell you, by coincidence, there was a study done. They talked about on the KQRS show this morning that women like men with a bit of red in their face because they look more powerful. They look. This is a true story. You can't have too much red because then you look too aggressive.
How about
fine
big blotchy
amount.
red splotches?
Well, this is what I was about to tell.
How about royal?
This is about what I was.
What do you feel about adult acne?
I was about to tell Eric Papp is that women find men with red faces, and again, they can't be like boozy red. But they find men with red complexions to look aggressive and in control and in charge, and women like that and find it to be more sexy. Now, as far as stress affecting your health, I can walk into a room, Catherine can look at me and say, "Who are you pissed off at today?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" I'm very calm. She goes, "Your face is red and blotchy. I know you're mad at somebody." So
I know, he gets tomato red. It's very scary.
Eric, that's how it shows up in me. I get very red face, and always, I don't know what that's, but obviously it's affecting my health. If I show it in my face that severely, it's got to be affecting my health.
Interesting. Are you getting red in the face because you are getting stressed out? Somebody is upsetting you, or
Yes.
is that just...
The best way to explain it is can I just call you Eric instead of Mr. Papp?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Eric, the best way to explain it is I do not understand why people can't comprehend certain things. I don't understand why people want to see what they want to see and hear what they want to hear. There's an old story, and I'm not claiming to be Ted Williams of anything, believe me, but Ted Williams used to get extremely stressed out when he was managing Major League Baseball. Not when he was playing, but when he was managing, because he would take these players aside and go, "What the hell's the matter with you?" And they go, "What? What do you mean?" "Well, why can't you hit 400? He goes, 400? I can't hit 400. He goes, "Well, I did. Why can't you?" And he literally was not trying to be a bad guy, not trying to be a prick or anything. He just could not comprehend, why is it that you can't hit 400 like I did? And I kind of, I just, it's like, how can you not understand these? Well, in communications business, first of all, you're an author, leadership expert, a professional speaker. So you understand in the communications business, there are a lot of people in the communications business that have no business being in it. and they don't know what they're doing, and it's really frustrating.
Yeah, you know what, Tom? Well, I'm going to address the point that you brought up with the Ted Williams story. I think a lot of it goes with our expectations from folks. You know, when we have somebody we're either managing or coaching them or working with them, we want our expectations of them sometimes to be so high, you know, just as if I were doing that job. So I think that's one of the biggest ways, you know, to prevent stress from happening is look at our expectations. Are we expecting so much out of somebody, you know, that they're not going to be able to live up to it? And I think that's sometimes a big thing, is being able to manage those expectations up front so that it prevents the stress and the frustration on the back end.
Well, let me ask you a question. I just have a little bit of a problem. I also do a radio show, and we do a lot of interviews. Mm-hmm. And during those interviews, people will interrupt one another. I don't understand how you can interrupt anyone if you're listening to what they're saying. You couldn't possibly interrupt them, correct?
Yeah, well, you know what, Tom? That goes back to our society. Just, for example, like today when you're eating lunch or when you're eating dinner with a group of folks, or even if you're out shopping or something, watch two people engage in a conversation and watch the person supposedly listening. You'll see their lips getting ready to, like, you know, move in, like ready to, you know, like right on the person.
To throw up?
Yeah. And I think that's right. You're exactly right. We don't really, you know, the culture, we spend so much time in classes in school, how to be a more effective presenter, how to be a better writer, how to be a better reader. But yet there's no classes I see out there offered at the high school or college level about really how to be a better listener.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, I will go along in an interview once in a while and ask a question, like, you know, talking to you about the Ted Williams thing, right, that we just did. And 5 minutes later, in that conversation, somebody else will say, well, Eric, I don't know if you've ever heard the Ted Williams story or not, but it's like, what? How could you not have heard that?
Yeah.
But is it and I don't think it's because they're stupid. I don't think they're rude. I think they're well-intentioned. But is it they just don't have that particular ability to pay attention? Are they so ADD that they can't pay attention?
No, I just think it's from habits. You know, it's from the habits they form, and they might have grown up in a household where they had to fight for attention, and then they had to fight to be heard, and so really listening, you know, they haven't really practiced that. However, when something's very important to us, you know, our desire, our attention, our concentration goes up. And when all three of those go up, so does our listening. So when people are talking about maybe financial matters or relationship matters, people then, you know, tend to, you know, the radar tends to really go up. Or if it's a subject matter that's really important to them. I've had it before, Tom, where I've had people interview me and they'll ask me the same question. And I'll, you know, exactly, you know, right, the same question. So I'll answer the question. I'm always thinking in the back of my mind, did they not listen to the, you know, did they not know that? Or, you know, or they just want me to go deeper or what? So, yeah.
It's got to be very frustrating, though. Honestly, for me, well, to tell you the truth, I put in a long day every day because I'm involved in a lot of different things. So if it's not the radio show, the podcast doesn't ever it's never stressed me out so far. We've been at it for a couple of months, and luckily...
We all burst into laughter.
No, I'm actually...
What?
After the first week. That.
I mean, once we got all the mechanics correct, and you know, you go through... The startup's going to be a startup. It just is.
But, Eric, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
If you're a big control freak, are you more stressed out all the time?
Yes, you are.
Thanks, Eric.
That was a tough one.
There was the bus.
Yeah, I would say, as far as, you know, compared to, you know, what, but I would look at it like, because you want everything to go a certain way. And like I said, it goes back to the expectations. Your expectations are so high, and you want to control every avenue. And that leads, Catherine, right into a great part about dealing with stress is being able to learning to let go. You know, learning to let go. And that, you know, just a great exercise for that is like grabbing a pen, if you have a pen nearby, or a pencil, or, you know, having that and then squeeze it real hard. It's just like stress. If we just, you know, somebody cuts us off in traffic today, or somebody says something, or somebody doesn't listen to us, you know, we squeeze and we hold on to it. And the longer we hold on to that, the more it affects our entire body and, you know, our outcome with other people. You know, even, you know, kind of alluded to, you know, the flush and redness in our face. So it's being able to, you know, get upset, that's okay, but then being able to say, you know what, okay, that's it, I'm going to let go and I'm going to move on.
So when I'm screaming at somebody in the car, it's actually a good thing.
You know what? Yeah, for very Catherine, for a very short time of that, you got to get that out, but then also being able to move on. Yeah.
You know what's interesting is
I can yell.
If someone cuts me off in traffic, my thought is I'll never see them again as long as I live. I don't care. Go ahead and cut me off in traffic. Act like a jerk behind the wheel. I don't get upset at all behind the wheel.
Okay, who is this man talking over here?
I never do.
Are you joking?
I'm trying to get
asshole.
Well, yeah, I'll call somebody an asshole. That's
Why don't
true.
you get a different haircut?
Yeah, well, I do try to work comedy in that. If I can work comedy in, then that's a fine thing.
It helps relieve stress.
Let me tell you exactly where my stress comes from, Eric, because I know exactly where it comes from. When I'm at work, again, whether it's the radio or the podcast or several businesses that we own, parts of or whatever, if somebody's not doing their job, it affects my ability to deliver for my family. If I feel I let my family down, it really pisses me off. It really makes me very angry. And therefore, it's like, if you screw up, you're making me let my family down. That really angers me a lot. That's where my anger comes from. Is like, you have no right to screw things up to the point where my family's affected.
Yeah, well, Tom, let's go into that. Give me an example of that. Like, so somebody said that you're interviewing and they don't show up, or what's an example that would cause you to feel like that?
Radio is rated by the quarter hour, and if you don't have the first 5 minutes of that quarter hour where you're on the air and you're talking, let's say you're in commercial, people are going to tune out, right? And you have to have the first 5 to 7 minutes of each quarter hour doing what you do. If you're a music station, you got to play music. If you're a talk station, you got to talk. Now, I keep explaining to people, in order to do that, when we're coming to the end of that quarter hour, we have to be out of there in time. And if they keep talking, and if they keep interrupting, and if they keep not paying attention, we go over that a lot of time, and it hurts our ratings. And I've told them this 1,000 times. I mean, it's metered now; it's a physical meter, so people literally just turn the channel, and it hurts our ratings. Well, that affects my family directly, and that really pisses me off. And I've told them this 1,000 times, and they still don't get it.
Are these the people that you're interviewing?
No, the people I work with, actually. A couple of people. And again, I just think that they think it's fun and, hey, it's free-flowing and it's fun. No, it's not free-flowing. This is a business. We're the highest-rated morning show, a local morning show in America.
Wow.
Right? And it got that way because we played by the rules. And it's just... Here's another example, very quick example. You'll love this example, Eric. We own some real estate. A guy tried to sell one of the buildings that we own. Was a property manager. Tried to sell a business that we own. Now, how on earth do you think you're going to get away with doing
asking.
Without you didn't have it up on the market or anything, or you didn't engage this person. It was just
no. It's like, how could you possibly think that? See, I was a little pissed off that day, Eric.
Was this person licensed?
Yeah, he was a property manager.
Was he a property manager of your property
of that
or another
building?
Property?
Of that
Is
building.
he still?
No.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's a good question. Is he still? Yeah, because there's a level of trust there. Obviously, there wasn't a high enough level of trust for him to do that. If you engage a property manager and you trust them in that position, they're going to come to you and they're going to say, hey, Tom, what are your thoughts? Are you thinking about selling this because I potentially might have a cash buyer, rather than just go ahead and try to sell it without, you being aware of the situation.
You know how I was notified that he had sold the building? He sent me a check that said, here's your cut. I said, what? It's my building.
The new tenant said, love the place.
Exactly. It's like, what? He literally sent me a check and said, here's your cut.
Well, I think most people would be stressed out in that situation. I think the situation with the radio side of it is that it comes off as a lack of respect when somebody's not paying attention or when they interrupt. And so that then causes more and more stress. But radio, good morning radio is a lot like great improv. If you're not paying attention, you all look like fools.
Right.
It can derail an interview if somebody's interrupting.
Well, see, but Tom has been dealing with this for a long time. What I'm thinking is, like Eric said, maybe he needs to let it go. Eric?
Well, I'll say this. If it's ruining your ratings, and because I don't think we got to the core of the problem. So we're talking about people that are running the radio station. Is that what we're talking about? Or
well, I get very little support on that end because I talk to them and say, look, we can't do things this way because it's really going to hurt our ratings, and if the ratings get hurt, you know what's really funny about this, Eric? I have a guaranteed contract, so it doesn't mean the ratings don't mean a damn thing to me. I could just say I don't care what the ratings are. I have a guaranteed contract. You got to pay me my money anyway. But I'm not. Yeah. I'm not that kind of person. I do care deeply. This show's been on the air for 27 years. I want to go out a winner. I don't want to.
Absolutely. Yeah, and maybe it's like you said, you've talked to that person, but maybe it's asking them questions and saying, why do you feel that you should just be free flowing? Why do you feel like that? And then, really trying to get them to see your side of it. Hey, why do you think I've been on the air? I've been so successful. I think if Tom, if they can't see your side of it, then maybe it's going to somebody else or saying, hey, can I get another staff person in here? Can I get somebody else? Can I work with somebody else on this? I think maybe I just would ask a lot of questions. And ask them a lot of questions, and if they can't still come to grips and to see that, then maybe saying, hey, well, who else could do this?
Right. I've done all those things, actually. I've gone to management, asked for their help. I've gone to ownership and asked for their help. And like I said, I don't think this person is stupid or is trying to ruin the show or anything. It's not that, because I did ask that question, and then their answer was, oh, why do I like to be freeform? Because it's fun. I said, but is it fun for the listener? Because that's why we're here. I mean, it has to be fun for the listener, not for me and not for you. And that's my major concern. The unfortunate thing about that, Eric, is I come across looking like an angry prick because of it.
You want to come back as you come across as a concerned host. I'm really concerned about my listeners. And I really want to, give them the best. And I think, you pound long enough, somebody will listen.
So, Catherine, how stressful is it to be married to me?
Thank God for Valium.
Why do you think I drink so much?
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, you're stressed. I think, to tell you the truth, Eric, I think my husband might be a little bit addicted to stress.
See, even he thought that was like, Eric's like, boy, what's
I think
this
he
all
likes
about?
it. I think he likes to be
That really stressed
out.
him out when you just said that.
Yeah. It's really stressful. Thanks, honey.
Well, I'm just telling
Addicted
you.
to stress, it feels terrible.
But you don't handle your stress in any other way other than just getting more and more stressed out about being stressed out.
Well, you get bloody noses.
I don't think there's a day that goes by where you don't
Is
go,
that a big deal?
I'm so stressed out. I'm so stressed out. It's like, well,
Eric,
you need to do something else.
Is it genetic? I just want to know, because my wife says the same thing. I'm Tom's nephew, but it's like we have a history. We have a history in our family of kind of initially reacting to something in a very strong way. I think we have pretty high expectations in general.
Yeah.
It's funny that you said it, because I don't know about genetics, but I do know probably it's from what you've seen growing up. And so, like, if the model's there, the behavior, that you see that behavior, your dad flying off the handle, your mom getting upset, or an uncle, and you see this a lot growing up, and then that's kind of the way maybe that you internalize on how to react to things. But that's probably where it's rooted as far as the models that you saw earlier on.
So it's behavioral more than genetic.
Right. I would absolutely behavior more than genetics, and to be changed. And everybody is in control of their own behavior. I mean, you can absolutely change the course of your behavior. Just by doing a couple things. When you get stressed out, ask yourself the question. This is like a little 10-10-10 rule. Hey, what's this going to matter 10 minutes from now, 10 hours from now, and 10 days from now?
Right.
A lot of what we let stress us out, like somebody cuts us off in traffic, It doesn't even matter 10 minutes from now, or it doesn't even matter 10 hours or 10 days. But yet, if we ride that person's bumper and they tap their brakes and we hit them, you can bet the reaction that we initiated and the reaction that they caused, is going to last a lot longer for 10 days when the insurance companies get in, and then whatever the legal fees and whatnot. I think that's a lot of times is being able to just pause and think before we jump in. It's great to be passionate about things. It's, take a stand for something. If you don't stand for something, you can fall for anything. So I think that's tremendous. But also realize, because sometimes when you're too passionate, is my emotion, is my energy getting the best of me where my message is not getting across? And I think that's sometimes with stressful people, kind of getting back to certain situations, is you come off so stressful that people can't even see your message. All they see is an angry person.
Oh, that's absolutely true. I mean, there's times where Tom comes walking in the house and I'm like, I just want to flee. Because I can feel the stress just.
Right.
But Catherine and I get along very, very well. We've been married for 27 years and 28 years on now.
Forever.
28 years we've been married. So Catherine and I don't have a stressful relationship. We have a great relationship, as a matter of fact. And I
worry about his health because, like you've pointed out, Eric, that it does really affect your health.
And Tom, with that, let's talk about some ways what are some good healthy releases. Going to the gym, ahead of time or after, the studio, just to blow off some steam. Maybe it's going for a walk just by yourself. So, after I get done, maybe the person, didn't make the switch in time and they just had a free flow. Whatever the case may be, maybe just going for a walk and just thinking about it. Hey, what's it all about? Where have I been and where am I headed? You know, and you ask those types of questions. And when you start to ask those types of questions and just kind of observe the silence and just kind of take it in, maybe just riding on the way home in silence, you know, then you really start to see, it puts things in perspective. And then you even can start to kind of sometimes, you know, smile and say, man, I was getting worked up over that. You know, wow, you know, I got a really great life. I got a great family. I got a great wife. You know, I got a great show. Man, there's just so much things that are just great in my life. Yeah, I got a couple things that, you know, I'd like to change here and there, you know, with some folks and some personnel. But you know what? Other than that, life is good.
I love you, Eric.
Eric is loved.
You're my
here
new favorite person.
I don't mean to speak for Tom, but when I go on these little walks, what happens with me is instead of de-stressing, I build a case for for myself and what an asshole the other person was.
I know.
Or build a case
on the walk.
Yeah, I hear
on
Tom.
The walk going,
When Tom's stressed out,
yeah,
Tom's stressed out. He calls 50 people to explain why he's stressed out, and he keeps that level of stress way up.
When you look for people to affirm your feelings,
Exactly.
which is what, again, maybe I learned it from Tom, and I blame you, Tom. That's what it's all about. So actually, my father was very fiery himself, and so I agree with that. He tended to react very strongly to things, and so I kind of learned that.
I know.
Managing
When the kids
stress.
were little, I'm like, okay, we're doing yoga poses now.
Tony,
No way, really?
I did.
Tony, do you feel a lot of
Sorry,
stress?
Andy.
We have two. You have a new baby. By the way, Eric, Tony Lee has a brand new baby and a little boy as well. I mean, is there new stress in your life now because of the baby coming along, or is it just you look at the joy of it only?
The joy wins, and this is our second one, so it's a little easier. But our first one, we had kind of an agreement that if we lost it and spoke to each other in fiery, obnoxious, insulting passion, that everything was cool in the morning. I mean, we kind of gave each other a pass because of the situation, being sleep deprived.
Yeah.
And just dealing with it that way.
And
It's perspective.
Yeah, perspective. But he brings up a great point as far as, hey, if I go out of the line or whatever the case may be, I just want to let you know, as we're going through this sleep deprivation, you know, we're on the same page and we love each other. We're on the same team. And I think that's great because you're kind of like laying some ground rules down ahead of time before that situation arises.
I had a guy come up to me on the street and say, "Why are you always so mean to so-and-so?" And I said, "What do you mean I'm mean to them?" "Well, you're always, yelling at them about interrupting and not paying attention, blah, blah, blah." I said, "What do you do for a living, sir?" He goes, "I sell cars." I said, "Okay, well, let me give you an example. You got customers on the show floor, and you're selling them a car, and they've decided, you know what, we're going to buy this car. Let's go do the paperwork. And just as you're going to do the paperwork, this other person comes running over and go, 'I wouldn't buy that car. That car's a lemon,' thinking it's funny." That's what happens. And the guy went, "Yeah, you're right. I'd be pissed off, too."
I think that's something to really keep in check when people always say, like, this person made me upset, or this, and it's like, no, you made yourself upset. The way you reacted, what you said in return. So when you look at it from perspective, like when you just say, hey, this person says that, you could think, wow, that person, they're way off in their thinking. Man, they're, and we have, some leaders in like Washington, D.C. right now. It's like, man, they're way off base. It's like, man, it's I see people get upset with this and with all that's going on with the election stuff, and like people, from both sides, and it's like, man, that stuff's going to happen. But at the same time, being able to realize at the end of the day, this is, in November, somebody's going to get elected, okay, and we're going to move on, And I think that's some of the same thing as well. Is, hey, you're going to do another show. You're going to have a lot more great shows in the future, So sometimes when this guest or somebody doesn't get it the way you want to, you know what? That's the way it is.
Stress can affect your health. Eric Papp, it's P-A-P-P. You can contact Eric at ericpapp.com, ericpapp.com. Great advice. Seriously, you personally helped me out with this situation now.
And your book is available on Amazon, right?
Yes.
But anyway, maybe this is even on a lighter note, that I go, okay, well, everybody's got their own opinion, and okay, we all do this and that. I would like all those people to gather together with me if the ratings ever do go down, because whenever they do go down a little bit, I'm the one they turn to and go, why are the ratings down? See, there's your problem. You look like a friendly guy. I just looked at your picture, Eric. You look like a very friendly guy.
Yeah, I am.
I am a friendly guy.
I'm really a jerk.
Hiding a lot of anger.
You're a very, very bright man. How did you learn to do what you do?
I read a lot, and I watch a lot. I watch a lot of, watch people and stuff, and been around some really sharp people. And I have the mindset, too, Tom, where I'm constantly learning. So, I might, do something, or even preach something one way, and I might say, oh, you know what, there's a better way to do that. And so I'm constantly learning, constantly growing, just from the student mindset of, you can learn every day, and everybody has a story. And then also, when you're meeting people, whether it's the person holding the door or whether it's the CEO, being able to see the goodness in people and then bringing that out. So I've also had 2 great parents as well.
That's a wonderful thing. Leadership by Choice, the name of the book. Eric Papp, our very special guest. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Great talking to you, sir. What a good guy.
What a big phony. I hated him.
Yeah, big phony. I mean, Tony, you understand what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And the fact that thousands and thousands of people that are listening to this podcast know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know, but you've got to get a handle on this.
But here, what I'm saying is that people go, why are you so mean? It's like, don't you understand? I mean, literally, if you're a baker and you're making these wonderful pretzel rolls.
Oh, pretzel rolls.
And you're just about to take, a dozen of them and put them in a bag, and a person comes over and sticks their finger in each and every one of them, ruining each and every one of them. Wouldn't that stress you out?
Keep it away from their fingers.
Yes.
It's because you feel like you're being judged for the challenges of other people. So if you were a baseball team, so Tom gave his analogy, if you're a baseball team and you start losing more and more games, eventually they're going to look at you as the manager and say, hey, what's going on? What's happening with this? And Tom, in this situation, is the guy that supposedly it's his show.
That's correct.
Most of the stress comes from situations where you feel like you have a lack of control, yet you'll get 100% of the blame. How do you let that go?
Yeah, how do you let that
go? Well, I don't think you can always let it go completely, but I think you can manage it.
Well, that's true. You need to learn how to manage it better.
Is learning how to manage it. You're going to have stress in your life.
But we're not listening to what Sean just said.
Yeah.
Whenever, thank God our ratings are great. We're, kicking ass. Everything's wonderful. But if our ratings ever go down, it's because of you, Tom. It's because of something you did.
I know, but
every time.
That's a pattern, and that's been the cycle of the whole show. And so you have to manage your stress because that isn't going to change.
But it's illogical to me that it's all our success.
A lot of things are illogical.
It's all our success, but it's your fault.
The toughest part of coping is you keep it in the immediate. If you look to the bigger picture and look at it with a sense of ridiculousness and appreciate what you do have, it makes it a little easier. But I found the hardest part of coping is keeping it right in the immediate moment. Then you're just surrounded by fury.
Right.
Well, I'm surrounded by fire and fury.
You're going to get some fury.
Tony, some soothing music for you, Tony.
Thank you. For new listeners,
let's all breathe.
Tony Lee and I worked together 12 years ago, and we worked together for, 15 years, right? About 15 years we worked together.
Yeah, because I was there before I was even on the air.
Right. So Tony knows, and Tony can tell you, I hate silly comedy, and I hate puns. And that's the other quality that's thrown in there.
Are you surrounded by puns?
Oh,
seriously?
Use puns as often as possible now.
It's just hideous. It's like, oh God,
how
it's
can
so
you
silly.
hate a good pun?
There's nothing punny about a good pun.
See now, right there's nothing punny. That's the kind of stuff I'm surrounded by.
Oh boy.
See, you know that bit you did at the beginning of the show?
Yeah.
I get none of that anymore. That's the stuff. I love that. I love that stuff. It's very creative and it's very funny.
Stupid.
No, she does.
Alex thinks Tony's bit
Alex thinks gating is funny.
She thinks that Tony, you're stupid.
And talking like this.
It is true.
Yeah, but it
is true.
You've been doing this for a long time. You're just going to have to get over it.
And how can I talk seriously to someone who's wearing Kleenex on their ears?
Here's how you should live your life.
Yes, I no longer have sweaty ears.
They're not absorbent.
Gross.
The tissues
she looks like a germaphobe.
You're gross.
Yeah, she looks like the Howard Hughes of women. She's got Kleenex boxes on her
Lady
feet.
Hughes.
It's a really nice touch. So, I mean, it's all frustration because I'm trying to do the best job I can, and that stuff gets in the way every day.
And you can't do anything about it.
Other than segue away from it and do podcasting alone. I could do that.
Keep it real, homies.
I could keep it real.
Podcasting alone? Thanks, are we? We're going to get phased out.
By podcasting alone, I meant only, not alone.
No, but I mean, seriously, but every day you've got to learn how to handle this stress. The 10-10-10 thing, I think, is a really good
that's smart.
You know what? Maybe I should just be like everybody else out there and go, you know what? I get my money either way. I don't care. Should I be like that?
You'll never
I
be
think
that
maybe
way.
that's the, like the polar opposite. I think you could be somewhere in the middle. You need to just learn how to manage your stress.
Well, here's an example of what we're talking about, and you can check with the company.
He just goes right on over that.
No, I'm not going over anything. I'm just telling you. Again, I just signed a new 4-year extension, and I'm supposed to start at 6:10 every morning.
Yes.
I work 6:10 to 9:55. Well, when I left the show at 5:40, the ratings went right in the toilet. So
people like you.
But that's not. It's just it was a
got
different
a lot
show.
of sass
It changed
and
the show
charisma.
too much. It's not that they weren't doing a good job when I wasn't there. It's just not what people expected. It was a different show, and they
Well,
didn't
it's
like
your
it.
show. It's like this podcast. If you weren't here, nobody would listen to us.
That's not true. But anyway,
I'm hilarious.
so I
Maybe
said,
Tony.
you know, I talked to the program director. I said, okay, well, I'll come back on at 5:35 then. So I'm working an extra 35 minutes a day that I don't have to work, but I care enough so much about that show, and the listeners. And I've made this very clear without being sappy or whatever. When I meet a listener, it's like you gave us the life, my family, the life that we have, and I'm very grateful for that.
Right.
Yay, you.
Just like this podcast, when you go through the work of downloading a podcast, it's a very special thing. You go out of your way to listen to this show, and therefore it's important. And if somebody started screwing this thing up, I wouldn't like that either.
Now watch yourself, John.
Hey.
Yeah, Tony. So you don't have a lot of stress in your life, Tony?
You know, I was lucky enough to have really good examples growing up, though, were copers.
Copers?
But yes, very much so. But my dad had a lot of stress. He was a huge worrier. And seeing that, I pulled very much farther the other way, seeing how it made him so unhappy and unhealthy.
Well, you know, it might be a situation when I remember when I was 16 years old and I came home and my mother said, we have to move in 24 hours. Your dad left and he told the landlord we were moving out and didn't pay him the rent. So Pat O'Brien, my brother-in-law, and I moved an entire household of furniture in 24 hours. So, yeah, that's what I learned. That was stressful. I remember how stressful that was.
You've got shitloads.
But that's why
of stress.
that's why it's behavioral, because I'm not going to name off my stuff that happened when I was a kid, but it's the same thing where you felt a lack of control when those things happen. And your greatest moments in your childhood were these traumatic things that were very sudden, and you felt no control over them.
Right, that's correct.
So there's a theme, same as me. There's a theme that I never was able to change, where when something that I can't control happens, it frustrates the hell out of me. So I tried it, and Brooke will call me, my wife will call me a control freak all the time. But I said, well, who doesn't want to kind of have a guide plan as to where you're going with your life? And she said, well, the problem is you're over the top with it, that you'd control the traffic if you could.
Yeah, a guide is not control.
Right.
No, but it's...
Your stress is perception.
But she says it the opposite way, that she's like, you just need to be more spontaneous and free-flowing. She uses that.
Tony, how would you control my situation?
How would you control?
Massage.
I like how you put that.
It sounds so cliche, but it is bigger picture. I mean, look around what you have and where you came from.
And I'd like to keep it.
Exactly, but is it really in danger of going poof and going away so quickly? And how will it be perceived when it is finally gone in whatever form that takes?
That's going to be weird. I suppose part of it is that we are at the very end of it. I mean, that is, I suppose, a big part of it. The fact that we're at the very end of the, it's going to go for another 3-4 years, and that's going to be it.
You think so?
Yes.
Are you having fun?
None.
Are you?
Seriously, I hate to tell you that. It's not fun for me at all anymore.
Yeah, okay, when you were out, like, here at the Hubbard Building on University Avenue, and you saw people working construction on light rail, compare the level of stress to that.
No.
I know that's physical stress.
But it's nothing like that. No, I know those guys have physical stress and a lot of that. But you know what? To answer, it's interesting you bring that up, because to answer your question, I felt envious that these guys running the jackhammer, they got a lot of physical stress on them. But when they go home at night, they're going to watch, the Vikings game on Sunday. They're going to have a few beers. And, they get to work the next Monday, and all of a sudden the boss goes, you're running the jackhammer wrong. Well, then you better learn how to run the jackhammer.
I felt that way, too, kind of when I was younger and in college and such. Because I didn't know which direction to go, and I was somewhat envious of people who had, like a father, who had a business for them to go into.
Yeah.
They didn't have to think about it, but I got great support to be creative and see whatever happened, but you feel that. It looks easier on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, it does, but I mean, it's great. Look, I got the greatest job in the world, there's no question about it. It's just, let me say, I'm not having any fun. It's just nowhere near as much fun as it used to be.
A wee bit of fun. Alex has something to say.
Alex?
I think that you're the kind of person that would make any situation stressful, though. It's like that's just your personality. If you think you could be a construction worker and go home and hang out and not care, that's not possible
when
for
you
you.
were doing voiceover, and that was like a Shangri-La job. I mean, let's admit it.
Jay,
Very
come on, I was working
little,
an hour a day. What do you want?
and making really, really good money. And every time he'd have a little lull in the action. My career's over. I'm never working again as long as I live.
Well,
That's
Tom,
it for me.
Tom has a profound fear, and again, I'm not, it's not my life, but I think you have a profound fear that has always been
Of
with
poverty.
you of going back.
Absolutely.
And it's an unrealistic fear at
understand
this
that.
point. I mean, that you will go back to where you were
Right,
before.
but we're going
and
to-
that helplessness of being a kid, and we got to move in 24 hours.
That's
and
probably true.
Yeah, and I mean, Tom, I love you. You're no spring chicken anymore.
Oh, my
There you go.
Neither
Stressful was
am
that?
I.
Look at that shot.
Neither am I.
She's wearing tissues
I
in her
need
head.
you.
all
We all
relative.
need you to just kind of take a little advice from Mr. Eric Papp there and do something about your stress.
He was a great
Manage
kid.
it.
Well, I'm doing a team DDP yoga. One bit of advice, not advice, but a bit of knowledge I'll pass along to you. I don't know if you saw this gangbanger Espinoza that was arrested. He's been arrested over 60 times for
right.
various crimes.
Yeah.
You saw him? Mm-hmm. I weigh over 115 pounds less than he does.
Good for you.
Have you seen that guy?
Oh, my God.
I wonder if he's stressed out.
He weighs like 425 pounds.
Holy God.
And his chin is bigger than the rest of his head. His chin is like down
I
to here.
saw that. It's a really weird situation.
Oh, it's just bizarre.
It's a really weird situation.
It's a weird situation, man.
You know how he deals with stress, though.
Yeah.
He just turns to the pot pie.
Oh, yeah.
God bless the pot pie.
That's exactly right. He deals with
It's
stress
turning
by
into
eating.
a pot pie.
A portion of the profits of the Tom Barnard Podcast goes directly to the Smile Network. The Smile Network is a nonprofit organization that provides life-altering reconstructive surgeries and related healthcare services to impoverished children and young adults in developing countries. The Smile Network, together we are constructing lives one bright, smiling face at a time. The Tom Barnard Podcast, giving away $5,000 on October 11th to one of our lucky listeners, and we'll give a matching donation to the Smile Network. All you have to do to enter is go to our website, TomBarnardPodcast.com, and click on the banner or the Enter Now button. The contest promotes sharing the podcast through Facebook, Twitter, email, and more. We'll contact the winner of $5,000 this Thursday, correct? Yep, this Thursday,
Yes.
October 11th. You'll be interviewed on the show. The 30-day giveaway of $5,000 at TomBarnardPodcast.com. See, that made me calmer hearing the music from Laurel and Hardy.
Isn't that nice?
That's
I
the
do.
music
I
I'm
like
going to have at my little retirement room, whatever place I am. I want the Laurel and Hardy music.
Laurel and Hardy music.
Playing on a loop. Just rocking my rocking chair.
It's a wonderful idea. So thank you. Hopefully I didn't sound too bitchy today.
A
But
wee
it's
bit bitchy.
well, then maybe we shouldn't run it.
No.
It was interesting because
I think it's
obviously
interesting.
struck a chord.
I was honest, and we
Cord.
talked about how to deal with it, which is the other side of it.
Well, that's very, very true. It's just for KQRS listeners, it's about a little over half of our audience for the podcast. You'll understand. I really care deeply about that show, and when I leave the show, I want it to be, a winning show. That's it. It means a great deal to me that all those people that listen, I want to give them the best show I possibly can. And it's hard for me to do that.
Well, I think the thing you need to realize, though, is that they are listening. And
They
if it
are
was
listening.
that bad, they wouldn't be listening. Maybe.
What was that, Alex?
My chair squeaked.
I don't eat
So,
those
you know-
sausages anymore.
Doesn't sound like
You.
I
I'm
think
a
your listeners
lady.
are still happy with you.
I hope so. Have a good day. Thanks for
Goodeth.
Bye.
Have a goodeth.